What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, the Indianapolis Colts have been dragged through the mud a lot over the last week. It hasn't even really been a week yet since their embarrassing loss to the New York Giants, which put them out of contention for the playoffs for the fourth straight year. And it seems to be only getting worse. We know the Indianapolis Colts have had people talking about players missing stuff, guys not paying attention to detail, guys not taking it as seriously as they should. But what we just saw was another bombshell brought forward by The Athletic. And now we have a situation where an anonymous Colts player was taking shots at the way that the Indianapolis Colts did things. Cody had his reaction to these comments on our Reacts channel already. So if you haven't already checked that out, highly encourage you do that. But I'm just looking at these comments as well, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down with you guys. But The Athletic posted, the Colts are seen by league and team sources as a fractured franchise stuck in a cycle of mediocrity since Andrew Luck left. That was nearly 6 years ago. Not much has changed since. And basically, Zach Kiefer, who formerly covered the Colts, and James Boyd basically went and talked about this. But there was one part of the article that really stood out. And this is what was talked about. And so there was a anonymous Colts player that mentioned this about the team and everything else. So the comment was this: there's no vision, one veteran Colts player said. From the top down, from the front office to the coaches to the players, no one is ever on the same page. And every year at the end, we're sitting here losing. If you look at the best teams in the league, they all have a vision and they all commit to it. And then he says, the Chiefs keep winning because they have a vision. The Lions turn things around because they have a vision. There's no vision here. So again, that was an anonymous player. We have no idea who that is. But obviously, it's a veteran Colts player. And my guess is it's someone that has been around here for the entire Ballard tenure. A couple guesses that come to mind is some guys from the offensive line. Maybe it's even Kenny Moore on the defensive side. Again, a lot of things could be brought up with this. But here's the thing. So yeah, and players and Coach Steichen have gotten a lot of flack from the national media because of their performances recently. But this bombshell is just basically saying from the top down, from front office, coaches, and players, that there isn't one objective vision that this group is trying to build on. Basically saying how everybody is kind of on their own understanding of what we're trying to do here. And, we kind of talked about it recently, and we talked about how Ballard kept saying all throughout the years, like, we like our guys. We like our guys, and talking about how certain aspects of this team are in win now mode, like you have an elite offensive line. You have an elite running back. You have some really, really elite talent on your defensive line, albeit isn't great at getting to the pass rusher, but that's beside the point. You have some elite talent in some places. And yet, in other places, you have been cohesive in talking about how we want to develop guys in the secondary, right? Or we want to only invest in the weapons that we draft, right? Because again, guys, like, of the Indianapolis Colts offense, who is, that's a great point. Like, what player for the Indianapolis Colts has been brought over and was actually part of the free agency process, right? No offensive linemen, no wide receivers, no quarterback, no running back. Every single piece of that offense that you've seen from the Indianapolis Colts is all drafted. And then from the defensive side, what is it? Like, yeah, outside of DeForest Buckner, which obviously people keep talking about, like, you traded for DeForest Buckner, and Buckner has been our best defensive player since you brought him over here. Now, that was right in the middle of when Shaq was still here, but nevertheless, we've seen what happened now. Your linebackers were all drafted. Your secondary guys are all drafted except Kenny Moore. So you brought in two defensive players, Kenny Moore and DeForest Buckner, two guys who are your captains, two guys who are really good at what they do. And yet somehow, some way, we're so complacent on, trying to build through the draft when we realize that's not actually working for you. You've gotten a couple good players over on this team from actually being able to bring them in. But the Colts aren't doing that right now. Now, is that entirely what this message is saying? No, it's not. But it is, again, another aspect of which whoever this player is correct. The Chiefs keep winning because they have a vision. They have a vision of how they want to beat teams, how they want to play things. That's how it's working for them right now. Yes, they have some elite talent in certain areas, but we have seen that elite talent for the Kansas City Chiefs not play well, but yet have still been able to win a lot of games and make it to Super Bowls nonstop because they have a directed vision on how they want to beat teams and how to make it to the Super Bowl. And they've been able to figure it out. The Lions, he was right. Like, how did the Lions change it around so quickly? Right? Obviously, they drafted well and they brought in some good pieces, but they brought in some good free agents. And on top of it, you have the right coaching. You have the right scheme in place. You have the right executives making the right decisions for your franchise. And you have a direction that these players can feed into. But right now, you have a Colts veteran that's saying there isn't that here. It's all fragmented.
Well, the 2024 NFL season for the Indianapolis Colts is in full swing. And with that, wanted to share the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks.
When it comes to PrizePicks, this is going to be a great way for you guys, especially, to check out some of the stuff that PrizePicks has.
You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You heard me right. Only 4 correct picks. You can win 100 times your money, guys, on PrizePicks. Be sure to sign up today and get $50 off instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So, for example, if you think that Michael Pittman Jr. is going to have, over 80 yards this next week, or do you think Jonathan Taylor is going to have another performance of 80-plus yards rushing, you might be sitting pretty good with where you feel like the Colts are right now.
So if you're looking specifically for the Colts stuff, that's definitely something you guys should check out. But if you're looking for, like me, more NFL stuff, there's all sorts of stats and stuff that you can check out and make your picks. And there's definitely guys that are very consistent, like Jonathan Taylor against the Houston Texans, that you really feel like you can probably feel pretty good about overall, right? And there's some other ones where you're like, I don't know if I would take the over on that. I don't know if I would pick them to hit that margin, right? So, guys, be sure to go check out all that stuff on PrizePicks. It's only a couple examples. There's all the different odds that you could hope for when it comes to that for PrizePicks. So I highly encourage you guys to go check that out, but definitely excited for this season. And hopefully you guys will be following along with us and everything with PrizePicks and what they do.
So be sure to download the app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Like I said, guys, it's a great way to continue to stay in with week to week life of the NFL, specifically with your favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts. So be sure to do that. Be sure to check out PrizePicks. And remember, PrizePicks, run your game.
And guys, we're going to talk about this, once, I don't know, I think Cody might have someone on tomorrow to talk about more specifics of this, but this is very concerning. And this just feeds into exactly what everyone has been saying about why we need to get rid of Ballard, why we need to get rid of Bradley, why we need to get rid of almost everyone. Because right now, this is a ship that has several different people trying to steer this thing in every direction without having a true destination in mind and a clear direction and vision on how to get there. And we don't have that. Is that in part of how we want to do things draft wise, how we want to do things free agency wise, how we want to coach people, how we want to interact with people, how we want to run the team? I don't know. But it sounds like it's something that has to be fixed. The only way it's going to get fixed is if you get the right people in there to have the right vision. And the Indianapolis Colts need that desperately. But let me know where your guys' thoughts are. Let me know who you think said these comments. Tell me what you think of these comments. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always,